Okay, so let's get back into it, shall we? Okay,
Resignation. Very well, Master. If inflicting pain is the only means to resolve this matter, then you leave me no choice. Optimal accuracy ratio achieved.
it's okay. I don't think it's the kidney thing again, guys. I don't think it's the kidney thing coming back. I was just reminded of it while I was in the bathroom. Just, you know, I was like, I remember when I used to have to stop the stream for this kind of crap. So, I had something to talk about. Um, well, Django mentioned that there's graphics added to the frame buffer effects. I'm curious what there is other than the blur. Because, well, I don't actually feel like I have to explain that. KoTOR 2 is so diseased and horrible, it's getting to me. That would be funny, wouldn't it? It's okay, I got carrots. Carrots usually make me feel better.
Wrong. I sense no one on board.
You sense no one on board? Sense any assassin droids creeping up behind us like last time?
Everyone here has been slain, yet there are few signs of battle. No carbon scoring, no blaster fire. This place has been hit by assassins of a different sort.
Then what are we doing on this ship? We were better off in the facility. You two are supposed to be Jedi? You two are the worst Jedi I've ever met.
You'd know, wouldn't you?
If the assassin machine was correct, then we cannot reach the hangar. Be silent. I need some time to think.
Gotcha, Django.
Look, I don't mean to cast another shadow on this, but even if you could reach the ship you came in on, it wouldn't matter. You'll need the orbital drift charts to clear the Paragus asteroid field, unless you want to have the shortest flight out of Paragus ever recorded. Well, of course they have the asteroid drift charts in their Navicomputer. They'd have to. Well, we'd have to get to the bridge, I mean... Well, that's the biggest problem I can see.
That is a sound plan for the moment. Let us go.
So yeah, this
Our
is how
enemies gather
influence
while we
works.
wait here. Very well.
Influence gained with Kreia, my master. Even though she's totally no master of mine. I think I am going to turn that off for now. Whoops, whoops. Sorry, guys. Oops. Oh, that's better.
We have taken on passengers to Telos.
Sir, we've just received an emergency broadcast. A freighter under attack by Sith forces.
Can you get an ID on the ship?
Yes, sir. We have its ID signature. It's not in our databanks, but its profile suggests some low-stock freighter. Says it's being hit hard by a Sith warship. Sir?
I'll need to confirm with command before we move to intercept. Report.
The Sith warship is empty, sir. We attached an umbilical and sent 3 strike teams through it, and there's no sign of a crew or its commander.
There's no one on board? What about the escape pods?
They're still in their berths, sir. This place, it's empty. It's like a ghost ship.
Then who was firing at the freighter?
We don't know, sir. The freighter's empty too. We did a clean sweep and nothing except a lone T3 unit, badly damaged. Did you still want a tractor beamed to the Harbinger?
Search the freighter and the warship one more time. If they're clean, then we'll tractor the freighter over.
Yes, sir.
No idea why the Admiral thought that freighter worth all the effort, but we'll find out.
He's referring to Karth there, by the way. Damn it, I was going to talk about something again. I'm having a real hard time concentrating right now. Sorry, guys. One of the things I like about this section of the game is this is just getting more and more and more creepy as we go through this. Even on repeat playthrough, it's just like, you know, even knowing what's going on, it's still damned creepy, you know. Oh, I remember what I was going to talk about. Okay, one of the things that bugged me the very first time I played this game was there was no sense of the scope of things. You didn't really get a feel for what had changed behind, you know, as far as the war or the Empire and all that kind of stuff. We get impressions, we get implications, we get little things that tell us exactly how things have changed in our absence. But for the most part, what we have is a situation where that's not where our focus is. I mentioned this. This is the Empire Strikes Back. We're not focusing on the war. We're not focusing on the Grand Empire struggle against, you know, whatever. It's the Mass Effect 2 thing all over again. It's the personal focus. But we do get implications of just how bad things are getting for the Republic and the Sith in the background. Because the Sith are not doing any better than the Republic, really. And the two of them are still kind of at each other's throats. We also find out through some little tidbits that Nihilus basically has an entire fleet and army at his back, and so does Scion. They basically cut up, they diced up what was left of the Sith Empire between the two of them, and have been continuing to wage their particular war, as not only with the Purge, which was primarily a Scion thing, of course the incident on planet I can't remember the name of, where Atris screwed everything up, is part of that as well. But yeah, between the two of them, the galaxy is in a mess. And the really funny thing is, what we have here is a funny situation, because Revan went to conquer the galaxy. Okay, the Mandalorians, KoTOR, thank you. The Mandalorians wanted to conquer the galaxy for the battle of it. You know, they were, okay. Mandalore the idiot, and I'm just going to call him that, was basically conned into it by either the ancient Sith or Vishay, whatever, however you want to think of the canon there. But we do know it was the Sith that conned him into that. So Mandalore the idiot was like, let's conquer the galaxy, it'll be great! So that was the first thing. Then Revan was like, I need to conquer the galaxy for its own good. I need to take this galaxy and do these horrible things in order to fortify it, in order to make sure that we're defended for what's coming. And then Malik was like, I want to conquer the galaxy, because then I can show my boss that I'm worthy of that promotion to fry cook. And then we have the Sith Triumvirate, which was trying to conquer the galaxy for their own basic reasons, but that deconstructed so quickly that you can't even really say that the Triumvirate was trying to conquer the galaxy at all. It's more like Traya was trying to conquer the galaxy because screw all this crap. Scion was trying to conquer the galaxy because it was a good way to constantly be killing people and venting his frustrations. And Nihilus wanted to conquer the galaxy, well actually, Nihilus wanted to eat the galaxy is a little more accurate. And conquering is just another way to eat in his mind. And I just mention this because it's funny, because their motivations are interesting going down the line. And it's just one group after another is like, we will take this place. No, we're defeated. We will take this place. No, we're defeated. It's okay. Malik will get that promotion someday. I believe in him. Ever since he worked drive-through, and that incident with his jaw, he hasn't been the same, but he'll come back. He'll bounce back, I swear.
Everyone in the Ebon Hawk was dead, sir. We're starting autopsies within the hour.
What about that Sith corpse we retrieved from the warship?
We haven't had a chance to fully examine it, sir. He looks human, but he's fractured in several places.
Then keep me posted. Something's wrong here, and I want to know where all those Sith on the warship went.
Yeah, by the way, he's talking about Scion there.
We're still experiencing a problem with the communications array, and now maintenance is telling me there's a cascade failure in the weapons.
Sir, I just picked up an unusual sound from MedLab.
I have come for the Jedi.
What the hell was that?
Sir, I don't know. Communications just got cut.
Send a security team to MedLab, now!
So, something else really quick. Darth Sion is an interesting character, even though he is extremely basic. I've often felt that if Malik had a degree of... I mean, Malik wasn't badly written, I've talked about that. But I always felt like Sion is just a slightly more nuanced Malik in several ways. He's very blunt, very brutal. He doesn't care about anything. He just wants to kill and crush and kill, and that's all he gives a damn about. The difference between Malik and Sion is Malik has his fear, low self-esteem, and general, I am better than everyone else. So, you know, he fell into the trap of the dark side, like I said. Not the real dark side, but the assumption of what the dark side means. Sion is actually perfectly at peace with who and what he is, and all he wants to do is kill and destroy. He has no real intentions towards anything else, right? But regardless of all that, Sion has always been, for me, the least impressive of these three, of the triumvirate. I don't mean that as necessarily a bad thing. But what I want to really praise is what Lava just mentioned in chat. The voice acting for Sion is amazing. Sion's voice is perfect. Whoever did it is amazing. I want to give that man props. So, anyways. So, yeah, that's it. Crush, kill, destroy, swag. I'll agree with that. So you thought Paragus was creepy. Then we go to this place. Lol, lurker. Although, speaking of which, I do need to level over here. What, there's another room, Jonko? With more logs? Do we want to turn Atten into a Jedi? I'm thinking yes, so we're going to go this route for him. I'm not sure yet, but we're going to at least leave our options available for that. I actually mentioned that earlier, Revan. The idea is that Sion is the Scion of Pain. Like I said, he has the most literal of the Darth names. Like, literally, of all the Darths. He is his name, Darth Sion, isn't even a variance on a word, like Revenge or Invader. He's literally just the Scion of Pain. But as I mentioned before, he's been called Sion for a long time. Can you even imagine being in that kind of a pain for 60 years? Just... Yes, Sterlings. For embarrassment. Haha. That's true, we need everyone to be fighting us, Darkblaze.
I'm afraid we're going to lose it all. There's just not enough ships and too much territory to cover. We're still rebuilding from the war with Malik, and sometimes I wonder if we'll ever recover. Still, we have our orders, and the Republic's put the highest priority on this mission. Looks like the trouble on Onderon will have to wait.
Hint, hint, stuff's going down on Onderon.
We expect to arrive within 10 standard days, provided there's no mishaps. I've been ordered to give the passenger no special treatment, nor make any indication of his identity. I have some reservations about turning the Harbinger into a passenger liner, but the orders were clear. Whoever this passenger is, he's got diplomatic level priority, whether he knows it or not. We have also transmitted the damaged vessel's ID signature to the Republic. According to the message, it's being pursued by Sith forces. There's no match for the vessel in our databanks, but the profile of the distress signal suggests it's a stock freighter of some kind. We'll only know for sure when we arrive, and we'll find out if the signal's genuine or a trap.
You have permission to divert course, Captain. If there's a Sith presence in the region, I want you to investigate. The ID signature on the freighter, did you get confirmation on it?
Yes, sir. We did not have the vessel listed in our databanks, so we transmitted the code to you. Was there a match?
There was, Captain. If you find any trace of that vessel, even wreckage, I want it.
Yes, sir.
After you've investigated the sector, resume course to Telos with the passenger. It is of the highest importance that he reach Telos.
Yes, sir. I'll make sure he arrives intact.
Good hunting, Captain. Admiral Onasi out.
Sometimes I wonder if the right hand of the Republic knows what the left hand is doing. I'm always being kept in the...
Query. You sent for me, Captain.
Yes, I need you to check on the passenger again, see if there's anything he needs. Try not to be too obvious about it. His safety is our top concern.
Statement. I shall use the utmost discretion, Captain. As always, it is my pleasure to serve.
Ahem. Dun, dun, dun. For those of you who don't get the full significance, Revan's been gone for 3 years at this point. I think it's 3 years. I'm pretty sure that's the 3-year thing. Because it's been 5 years since KoTOR 1. And there's been no word, no sign, no nothing. And all of a sudden, a random ship out in the nowhere gets a sign of the Ebon Hawk out of absolutely nowhere. That's why it's like, oh my god, we must go after the Ebon Hawk. And of course, the Ebon Hawk had nothing on board except for, well, we don't want to get into it, but basically, that was the Ebon Hawk returning from the Doom regions. I know it came back with T3. I'm trying to remember where Kreia gets involved in this, because Revan went off and got himself into the mess that happened out there. This actually doesn't line up perfectly with what happened in Tor. I've talked about that before, but basically, he gets involved with that mess. The ship comes back, and it's like, oh god, we got to come help, and then we have this whole situation which unfolded because everyone wanted both the Exile and Jedi in general. And isn't that just a wonderful little situation? Lots of people want Jedi because there's this whole thing requirement for the Jedi right now, the bounty, and of course there's the Sith who just want to kill the crap out of them, and it's just kind of funny how everyone hates the Jedi right now, kinda. I say kind of because there's still that cultural bias which will be present in for the next 3,000 years. But it's surprising how many people are like, oh my god, Jedi. Kill/capture them. Oh no, more assassins. Ah! When did I load last, or save last? I really need to be saving very often. That's getting irritating. Ugh. God damn it, really? That's right, I hated the Jedi before it was cool, guys. Give me the cutscene. Damn it. If it fails again, I'm just gonna move on.
Are you all right?
There we go. These were my quarters.
This was your room? When?
Before I lost conscious and woke up on Paragus.
We do not have much time. Whatever you intend to do, do it quickly.
Hey look, it's my armband. Oh yeah, I gotta actually put this on, don't I? I've never actually put a lot of faith into that theory personally. If you have any reasoning behind it, I'd love to hear it, because I've never heard anyone actually give any reasoning behind the theory. I've just heard, oh yeah, Kreia is totally her mother because it just feels that way. It's like, it's not much of a theory, you know? I'll go and get that now. Oh, I have another one. Yay! In that case, we'll go and get the heal.
What is it? What? I know we need to get out of here. Like I said, it's a minefield looking for any excuse to blow.
I'm gonna say it wouldn't surprise me, by the way. I just haven't heard many support for the idea.
Look, I'd be happy to share my whole life story when we aren't getting chased by assassin droids and Sith troops, alright?
Yeah, lava dude. Yeah. And I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this. That does have a degree of logic. There's no denying that. Whether it's good or not, that's a little more debatable.
Let's settle this.
We talked about that earlier, Reach. There's multiple ways to interpret it, but the general idea that I and several of the people agree with, including one of the developers of the game, is that he's basically speaking the Force, like, directly and literally. What you're hearing is the echoes and screams and wrongness of the Force just kind of coming out of him, you know what I mean? Oh, it still works just fine, Summer Haze, as I mentioned earlier.
Something's wrong. Ever since we picked up that Sith firefight in the region, crewmen haven't been reporting for their shifts, and I can't reach people on the comm. The strange thing is, I keep feeling like someone's watching us here in the ship, but I can't see anyone. I don't like this. Checking the survivor from the Sith vessel. I'm not sure whether he's alive or dead, or what's even keeping him together. His flesh is cracked and scarred, and I'm registering several thousand fractures in his skeleton, as if each bone was splintered repeatedly over time, then put back together. Judging from the scar tissue, I believe these wounds took place before his death. If so, he must have been in constant pain. I have no idea what's been keeping him together. This is the medical officer. The soldiers sent to the medical bay have just died. I don't know where the subject went. I think he's gone to find more of the crew. With him or Sith. They just appeared right out of thin air, like they were wearing stealth generators, but I think they were always on board. When we stopped to pick up that freighter, they must have come on board the Harbinger. I have no idea how many are on the ship. There could be only a few, or as many as 100. And with communications cut off, we can't call for help. I think that thing in the tank was a Sith Lord. Alive the whole time, waiting for something to wake him up.
Yeah, the heat's pretty bad here, too. In order to save on bills, we've actually turned up the AC, so it's more unpleasant than usual right now. But you know how that goes. I'm sorry, when I say turned up, I mean turned up the temperature. AKA, we are using less of the air conditioning, and it is warmer. Oh, good, Django. I don't think I was aware of that. I don't know what it is Celsius here, but it's damned hot.
Time to take you down to size. More where that came from.
Let up.
That always happens, Arthas. Before they go hostile, you can actually see them, even though they haven't actually rendered yet. Now, by memory, I usually relegate Cure to my allies, so just to make sure, Cure is an AoE in this one just like it was in 1, correct? What? It's the latest style in Requiem. Thank you, Reach.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Someone had to say it.
I can't help it, don't you feel it? Something's gonna get real wrong, real quick. Alright, but don't say I didn't warn you. Trust me. When it comes to staying alive, I'm rarely wrong about these things.
Yeah, you'd know. Sith. Alright, time to go fight Scion. Spoiler alert, sorry guys. Oh, where's the feed I'm looking for? Yeah, the game literally says he knows there's something bad happening. You might want to save. Yeah, make sure she's in the right stance, which she is. He's in the right stance. There we go. Okay. Save. I love how this area is especially broken to set the mood for the Scion fight. We may be breaking soon, guys. I hate to do that, but we may be breaking, like, for the night soon. Oh, that is so... Look at that camera angle. That is perfect.
I have come for the Jedi.
Which one?
This battle is mine alone. I am not defenseless.
He cannot kill what he cannot see, and power has blinded him long ago. Run. I shall be along shortly.
This is an interesting move on her part, considering she's actually lost to him before. Granted, last time he had something else going for him. And Kreia is actually really strong in the Force. Kreia is one of the very few people I know off the top of my head who can actually wield, like, more than 3 lightsabers at a time. Not with their hands, just with their mind. But yeah, as Takoida points out, she cares way more about the Exile's survival, since all she cares about at this point in time is her plan, which requires the Exile to be alive. Now, why Scion leaves her alive, that's easy. He doesn't care about killing her. He wants her to hurt. He wants to freaking break her and hurt her just like he hurts. So in other words, I don't know exactly how this works out, but suffice it to say that it wouldn't even be surprising to me if she walks in there and she says, "What do you want?" to leave him alone, and Scion says, "I want your hand." Bzzzt, and that's the end of that. This is cool looking. Then again, Scion is not what I would call a sane individual. So he doesn't really think and want the same things that, you know, other people do. Want to know where I got these scars? Well, let's just save it.
You're joking. We are not going to cross back into the Paragas facility through the fuel line. That's crazy. All right, but I know I'm going to regret this.
I sense you, my master. Faint, weak.
Your senses betray you, as you betrayed me.
After all that's happened, still you live. You are difficult to kill.
For one as limited as you, perhaps. To have fallen so far and learned nothing, that is your failing.
The failure is yours. No longer do your whispers crawl within my skull. No longer do I suffer beneath teachings that weaken us. And now you run in search of the Jedi. They are all dead, save one. And one broken Jedi cannot stop the darkness that is to come.
Agreed,
Perhaps
Changa.
we shall see.
And there goes your hand. Yeah, by the way, the bond
What's
between
wrong?
these
Are you
two is
alright?
way more artificial.
Damn it,
between
hold
Kreia
on.
and
It's
him.
only a little farther. Don't give up on me now. What happened to you?
I felt like my hand was cut off.
Huh? How do you know that? Look, if she's in pain, then that pain's buying us time we can't afford to waste. Especially if Sleeps with Vibroblades gets tired of playing with her and decides to use us for practice next.
I like that name for Scion, by the way. Yes, I know Nerazes. I've seen that one.
It's a utility droid. Looks like it's been hit with an ion charge and dumped here.
I know, we ran into him before. Don't blame yourself. If you hadn't gotten us out of the administrative level, we never would have made it this far. One thing I love that they did with T3, even though this is basically a aping simulacra, whatever you want to call it, of R2-D2, is you almost never see his dialogue, but you can infer a lot of what he's saying based on what other people are saying around him and to him, which is really cool. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's actually going to be no chi in this game. Not just literally, but figuratively. Like, I don't remember any of the voice samples really bothering me in this one, personally. Not like they did in 1, where I remembered it so thoroughly that even before I picked up 1, I was like, oh god. We'll see if there's any bad ones when we get to Telos and Nar Shaddaa. Maybe Ithorians. I don't know. We'll see.
Poison. Everyone down. Let's settle this.
Now, one thing that
Time to even the odds.
I'm not sure if I like it or not. You have a lot more options in combat, but I feel like they also bothered to make this game much more difficult in order to make up for that. I'm curious if anyone else has the same perspective on this one. Oh, hey, Ad. Sorry. Let's get you back up. The chasm. Well, there will be a pretty big chasm when we get to Nar Shaddaa. Oh my god. Agreed, Reach. They did a good deal of good work with the increased animations with this one. Of course, they give us the lightsaber combat force. That remind me. Here's a question for you guys, because I don't actually know the answer to this. Where was the various forms of lightsaber combat first introduced into the Star Wars thing? Because I know it was in the prequel movies. They don't actually mention the forms of lightsaber combat in the prequel movies. But it was mentioned extensively in the Clone Wars EU, the books. And it's here in KoTOR too. It's actually not only just a thing that's a lore thing, but it's also a gameplay mechanic, because we're going to use the different forms of combat. So I don't remember where that first became a thing, where they first sat down and said, okay, this is this and that and that and blah, 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 blah. God, I'm really having trouble here. I really may have to break early today. Oh, okay. Jedi Knight 2 was the first one? You know what, I really want to finish Paragus. I'll be right back. I really want to finish Paragus, so give me a minute, guys. Okay, I'm back, Sorry, guys, like I was just saying in my head, so of course you didn't hear that. It's nothing serious, I just, I've been pushing myself a bit lately and haven't really, been getting a lot of sleep, and when you're really that nauseous, it's hard to concentrate, that's all. Let's move on, Damn it, I am finishing Paragus. Come hell or high water. I doubt the pizza mattered at all, really. For that. Carrots are helping. I can't turn on a fan while I'm streaming. People will be like, ah, noise. Because, you know, there'll be a lot of noise. Okay. Let's do this, Leroy. Right, I keep meaning to get a new drink. I've been going without liquid for like half an hour now. Hang on. Excuse me, so.
Time to take you down to size.
Don't be silly, Dios. There's no such thing.
Time to take you down to size.
Really, Junland? Interesting. I'm not even aware of that. So, I'm guessing, oh, here we go. Interesting. Good, Zeiss. Don't do it, Zeiss. Alright, I gotta come up with something to talk about. Let's see. Did you know the Jedi or even... Okay, real question for you guys. If you had the ability to choose to be a wound, not like Nihilus. Nihilus is... Well, in many ways, Nihilus is what the Exile could have become under the wrong circumstances. I'll talk more about that later when we really get into the Nihilus discussion. But more like the Exile, if you could become a wound in the Force... willingly, would you? Keeping in mind, it doesn't really affect his or her ability to be a living being, it just kind of causes the Force to swirl in and suck into you in ways that I've already mentioned. So, yes or no, basically. Really? Really? I partially bring it up because, as we've already discussed, simply using the Force is going to be a very dangerous thing to do, right? So, you know, you would have to have extremely well-conceived of mind to use the Force properly, because just about no matter what version of the Force you adhere to, it can still influence you, right?
This door's magnetically sealed. I can't believe this. The ship's right out there, and we can't get to it.
Oh, damn it, Zeiss. I'm sorry. I missed it. I'll look in just a second, I swear. In fact, I'll look right now. No! Dark Neckish has pushed us further towards the dark side. What are we gonna do? There we go. What? The console?
Huh? What is that piece of junk saying?
He said he can open the door, he just needs access to the hangar terminal.
How can you even understand that noise? Alright, well, if he can slice the door open from the terminal above, don't let me stop him. I
personally mention it because maybe it's just the fact that I'm insane. which is entirely feasible. But I would totally be okay with being a wound for the same reason I'd be okay with being a nobody. The benefits of being a wound are, first of all, you have all the ability to use the Force, at least theoretically, through that echoes thing I already described. You know, you're not actually using the Force; you're just influencing the Force through the void around you. Darth Blight, isn't there one that actually named it? So you still have the ability to use the Force, light side, dark side. It doesn't matter because the Force cannot influence you in any way. No matter what version of the Force you adhere to, you cannot be affected by, you know, the Force because you're a frickin' void. You're a wound, right? The second benefit is what I already mentioned. The ability to, you know, be that kind of natural charisma, except it's not actually charisma. I guess I would say unnatural charisma. The ability to draw people towards you, the ability to draw the Force towards you, the ability to draw destiny towards you, know, all that fun stuff. So there are benefits. It's not as beneficial as it being a nobody, for example, but there are still benefits. Now, of course, if you asked me would I rather be a wound or a silver Jedi, I'd say a silver Jedi 10 times out of 10. But, I would be lying if I said the idea of being a wound wasn't appealing. Hey, Pandemonium, welcome back. That is true, Darkblaze. Surik was a good leader, even before this whole incident, as I've talked about before. Of course, the reality is a lot of this is dependent on interpretation of a game which has certain things that are just there for game mechanics and certain things that are just there for lore mechanics, and we don't really know the full 100% truth, and we probably never will, since KoTOR 3 has not happened yet. Actually, you'd be amazed how few people know binary across the franchise. Either that or Atten does know binary, and he's pretending not to, because he likes to play things close to the chest, because he's a very damaged human being. Silver Jedi, by definition, means neither Sith nor Jedi. The term Jedi is just a term that is quicker and easier than to say Force user. But if you want to be technical, it would be a silver Force user. But I don't feel like saying Silver Force user each time, so instead I say Silver Jedi. Attack! Yeah, exactly. Theodoricus. Wait a minute, can Atten Reed speak to moisture evaporators? Because that's really, really useful. A Grey Jedi is kind of different, Arthas, at least depending on definitions. We talked about that earlier. But you probably weren't there for that, too. So to summarize, a Grey Jedi is someone, at least by my definitions, who uses the light and the dark side relatively equally. Doesn't lean too heavily on either. A Silver Jedi is someone who uses neither the light or the dark side, but has literally a completely new method of thinking of the Force, and therefore draws on the Force a little more directly, with no light side or dark side involved at all. More connected to what is usually referred to as the living Force, as it's been referred to as many times. That being said, Kreia, I would argue, is a really unique case. I was actually asked when I first mentioned the A little bit pandemonium. I was asked when I was bringing up the silver gray thing, what exactly Kreia is, because I mentioned that Jolee and at certain points in his life, Revan and Qui-Gon Jinn were good examples of silver Jedi, in my perspective. Arguably, Luke is as well, but that also varies based on his point in history. Yeah, I don't get that either, Reach. Anyways, but Kreia... What the... Why, Zeiss? Okay, thanks. Thanks for the beta invite. Yes, theoretically, Fenrir. Although, by definition, a Silver Jedi would never be a over-the-top evil nor over-the-top good person. They would be something a little bit different. Kreia is hard to define. The more I think about it, the more I'm inclined to not call her anything. She's not a light Jedi. She's not a dark Jedi. By definition, by the pure technically, she is a gray Jedi because she has used the light and the dark side equally. But what the hell is potentium? What? Oh, I know what. Yeah. Nah. But yeah, she is by technical definition a gray Jedi because she's on the light side and the dark side equally. But she has no mentality that is equal to what anyone else has. She's not really a Jedi at all. She's like an anti-Jedi, and we talked about this when we were going through KoTOR 1 as well. The idea that Kreia is just against the Force overall, willing to use the Force, but only to accomplish her ends. I just talked about this, John, but to make this clear, a gray Jedi uses the light and the dark side equally. A silver Jedi does not use the light or the dark side at all. A silver Jedi uses a direct conduit, a different mindset, a different way of thinking. Of course, that comes down to definitions, because as we've talked about, there is no real definition of the Force. Not really. There's no official canon Force definition. So I'm going off of my own definitions because I'm the one talking. But I feel like silver is a distinction that needs to be made, and it's worth noting that there are only a handful of what I would call silver Jedi across the entire franchise, where there is a lot more gray Jedis. I like that idea, a nihilist Jedi. But yeah, I would honestly say that Kreia really is not any of the above. She is perhaps the only individual that I can think of off the top of my head who is purely anti-Jedi, anti-Force, and seeking to use it solely and surely for the purpose of extinguishing the Force. Now, Nagy, philosopher Jedi. Here's a question for you guys. I've said before that no given interpretation of the Force is any more or less valid than any others. I've given my interpretation of the Force, but it's just mine. That's just how I look at it. That's how I think of it. You guys can use your own perspectives and mindsets as well, and I've heard several of your guys' interpretations of the Force, but here's a question for you. If Kreia's goal succeeded, if she wiped out the Force, if she sent the echoes through the exile and caused the wound to expand until all of the Force went away, what do you think would happen based on your perspective, based on your philosophy, your mindset of how the Force is? Okay, we already have Force dominate mind, which is excellent. The droids would be fun. Oh, that would be wonderful. And the galaxy becomes containing nothing but droids. And then in 3,000 years, the Yuzun Vong invade, so we have the all-organics versus the all-synthetics. And the little kid shows up and says, "Wait a minute." Oh, that would be funny, wouldn't it? Oh, we're not getting Canderous for a while. We don't really get Canderous. I mean, really. Excuse me, Mandalore the Preserver. There's my baby. Why is there just one random enemy here? I think it functions, British Twitch. That kind of thing can break someone, especially when they're already broken. That would be horrible. Alright, time to leave Kreia behind.
Quick! We're gonna need some time to fire up the engines. Let's give the laser turret a workout.
Yeah, why are there suddenly Sith troops here? I've never understood that. Really. I like how he just ran in front of a gun that was shooting repeatedly. That's just very Sith. Yeah, kind of like that. Just making a pile, don't mind me. Oh, that's the last one. Oh no, they boarded us. What do we do? Malak students are like, we will make the master proud. Actually, I like this because all the troopers you don't actually kill with the turret get on board so you can fight them here. That's just, I don't know, it strikes me as kind of a cool little design thing. Oh. Damn it, I don't know why I'm having so much difficulty noticing my HP. And we're dead.
Quick! We're gonna need some time to fire up the engines. Let's give the laser turret a workout.
Wow. Oh, come on.
Alright, let's get out of here.
Kreia?
There is no time. We must leave.
Hey guys, if you jump out this airlock, you'll get outside much quicker. Flee, you fools!
If they hit us, we're dead. But if they keep missing us, we're dead. It's great odds. Somebody shut that trash compactor up.
Never tell me the odds.
Now with all these asteroids around us, we'd enter hyperspace in pieces. We have to clear that field first. Thing is, we clear the field and they're gonna have a clear shot at us. I'm doing all I can, and that's not enough. What'd you do to make these guys so mad? Well, either they hit us and destroy us, or they hit an asteroid and make the whole field go nova.
What are the asteroids? They can be destroyed by us as well as them, can they not?
That'll take out the whole field, the colony, and maybe us. We might not even be able to jump to hyperspace in time.
Then we die here. Choose now.
You know, normally I go ahead and fire on the field. Let's not do it this one. See what happens.
Hold on. This is gonna get a little rocky.
Kind of, but not really. Ultimate Paradox. It's the mass shadows that matter.
Planet, maybe one of you can tell me what's going on. Because between assassin droids, a Sith Lord that looks like he sleeps with vibroblades, and being target practice for a Republic warship, I was better off in my cell.
The Republic warship was the Harbinger. It was seized on its way to Telos by the Sith. They sought you, Jedi.
And why are they looking for me?
Because you are the last of the Jedi. Once you are dead, then they have won.
I've never actually heard of KoTOR 2 getting a lot of hate. Even when this game came out, the biggest complaints about it were that it had a little bit of bugginess and the ending was bad, but it actually received very high ratings and was a critical and financial success. So, but I'm not a Jedi.
Whatever lies you tell yourself are of no consequence. The Sith believe you to be a Jedi Knight, and that is all that matters. The Jedi Civil War destroyed the Jedi. By the war's end, barely 100 Jedi remained. Many fell in battle, and many more were seduced by Revan's teachings.
What about on Dantooine and Coruscant?
The Jedi Academy on Dantooine is nothing more than a crater that echoes with the ghosts of dead Jedi.
Oh, agreed,
and the
Enwekrian.
Jedi Temple in
Absolutely.
Coruscant lies empty. The waters in the Room of a Thousand Fountains have fallen still, in reverence to the fallen Jedi, and those now lost. Many Jedi blamed the teachings of the Jedi Masters for Revan's fall, and the civil war that followed. Perhaps, but they are Jedi no longer. If the Sith have not already slain them, then they will not help you, nor can you help them. Yes, to aid in the recovery effort there. Many roads lead to Telos, including ours.
Not like we have much of a choice, the Paragus astrogation charts being what they are.
It is where we must go, and where the Harbinger was bound before our unfortunate encounter on Paragus. You were difficult to find, but coincidence was on our side. When I learned that you were on the vessel, I knew the Sith would not be far behind. When we intercepted the Harbinger, it was crippled, drifting in space. It was a simple matter to board the vessel and rescue you. Unknown to me, however, the Sith were already on board. Just as we made the jump to hyperspace, they fired upon us, nearly destroying the Ebon Hawk. True. But as one trained in the Force, you know that true coincidences are rare. I do not know how the Ebon Hawk was able to make it to Be silent. We're having a conversation here.
Repaired this ship. My eye. Next thing you know, it's gonna claim credit for saving our skins. If that little noisemaker says it repaired the ship once, then it can prove it by doing it again. Go on. Get!
Whatever occurred on board the Harbinger had rendered you unconscious. Though your thoughts were faint, I was still able to find you sealed in one of the cargo holds. That is not an easy question to answer. This threat is greater than you know, and I do not believe it is a battle that can be fought.
I was trying to be nice to T3. I don't know why everyone was being so mean to T3.
Look, enough with the we already.
We cannot hope to triumph against them alone. To stop them, you will need weapons, allies, and a teacher. In the end, I fear it may not be enough. You fought in the Mandalorian Wars, and it cost you everything. Are you willing to sacrifice as much again? You are not listening to me. This is not like any field of battle you have ever fought in. Think carefully on your choice. If you choose to fight, if you choose war, it is a path few turn from once the first steps are taken. It carries with it a terrible price. And in the end, you may find you have nothing left to sacrifice. Like so many Jedi, you hear, but you do not listen. You have much to learn, but we have spoken long enough, and my wound pains me. If you have other questions, find me in the crew quarters. There we will speak more.
Hey, don't stop your long, boring rants on my account. I was just getting sleepy-eyed.
Also in private, we will be mercifully free from the opinions of imbeciles and fools.
Look, not like I care or anything, but you might want to go check on our passenger, especially with that hand of hers. We're on autopilot until we hit Telos. Until then, a droid could fly this thing. Besides, I think our passenger could use your help. I think she was barely keeping it together. I'm surprised she's able to stand with all that pain rolling off of her. Are you blind? If I were her, I'd be screaming like a stuck Mynock. Well, I mean a very strong, manly Mynock. I think she's just too proud to show any weakness. Especially in front of you. In case you hadn't noticed, she won't say 2 words to me, but she'll talk your ear off any chance she gets. What you think matters to her. A lot. She wants you to respect her. Besides, we haven't got much else to do until Telos.
I like the companions in this game, with the exception of Hanhar. Although he is well written, admittedly, he's just freaking psychotic. But anyways, but note that this is our first hint that Atton is more than he appears. This man is obviously someone who is very accustomed to using his head and picking up on little details and paying attention to things, putting things together, a kind of a situational awareness sort of a thing. And so he's his insight into this matter is fascinating. And the first time I saw this, I was like, wait a minute. It caught my attention immediately. And when I learned his whole story, it was just like, whoa. Jeez, Atton. I do like Atton, by the way. He's just a messed up individual. But as I've said, he is broken. Just like all of the characters in this damn game are.
Oh, don't give me that. All it takes is being around people enough to read them. You should try it sometime.
Wow! Spin to win. So we're not light side enough. Excuse me. So I'm trying to think here. How light side do we? Excuse me. How light side do we need to be in order to trigger the Vicious Mar thing? Because I'd like to trigger that ASAP, basically. Let's see here. And yeah, all our companions can't stand each other. 50%. Let's go ahead and do that now. And just get that over with. Let's see here. Wait. Hang on. We gotta reload this. 75%. Jesus Christ. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and I don't know, guys. Do you think we should just go ahead and cheat it in now to make sure? Or we could just go through Telos regularly? Because we're kind of trying to be gray here. Let's go ahead and just play through it and see how this works out. And if we're not by the time we get down to Atris, we'll go ahead and cheat it in. How's that sound? Okay. As I said, we're going to be stopping for the night here. I'm going to lie down. I'm not doing so hot. We're not going to be streaming after I get up. So, like I said, this is it for tonight. Tomorrow, we will be hitting up Telos. Because I have a billion things to talk about. And I'd like to save those for when I'm capable of functioning, which I'm having trouble right now. So, thank you for staying with me for the beginning of this game. So far, I'm really enjoying it. And I hope to see you tomorrow. 11 a.m. EST, as usual.